Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, back with you with another new chapter, the final prologue chapter for Arc of Destruction. Yep, you heard it right. This is going to be the last prologue chapter for Arc of Destruction. Let's go for a little recap. We went over it on the beginning of the story from the point of view of a ancient devil who's been around since the beginning. Since the Great War and also since the Civil War, this being the twin sister of Venelena Gremory, Lenore Beale. Because she wasn't born with the power of destruction, she was soon basically ostracized from the Beale family, even though she had a brilliant mind and had a high-level demonic power as well, especially being a 10-winged devil as well. She was still looked down upon because she didn't have the clan trait of the Beale and seen as nothing but a failure, a defect. But even so, she still moved forward in her life and not wanted to be defined by what the Beale family basically saw her as or seen her as, to be honest. Her nephew that she just met, being that of Sir Zetch's Gremory, now Sir Zetch's Lucifer, wanted to show her that the devil race can change with them in charge. However, to her, she already knows that the devils will never change. They will never change to become something more, after all. So, she decides to roam the world through generations and centuries of traveling, meeting people, building relationships, even alliances as well, until she's settled down with that of a Japanese man, Keitobi Saito, which the two hit it off. They fell in love, they dated, they married, and were even starting to make that of a family as well. Even finding out that it's better if devils basically, have that of children with that of humans instead. They may be half-breeds, but at least the devil race will survive one way or another. But to her, it didn't matter. Her new family, her new life is what mattered. Even after losing her husband, she still continued moving forward for her child's life, her child named Ragna. And it was just going to be another glorious day for the two until exorcists basically busted into their home, attacked Lenore because they planned on killing Ragna. Because this was the day that his demonic power was finally fully developed. And because of this, it led to Lenore's death and Ragna awakening his sacred gear, within killing the priest, but his mother dead and his home destroyed, before meeting an old man who goes by Matsuyoshi Jubai, who will take in the young half-human, half-devil hybrid. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Chapter 0, Part 2, Training from Hell. 5 years. 5 years have now passed since the incident that changed Ragna's life forever. And currently right now, a 10-year-old Ragna, with that, still having that of spiky black hair with that of brunette highlights actually, as he's currently wearing that of a training gi, as it being all black, within his hands having that of his sacred gear that is called Void Red, also known as the Crimson Sword. It's basically a blade that uses that of void magic that can cut through basically anything, even magic itself. However, it's just your basic common variety sacred gear. But even so, Ragna was able to make it his own. Currently right now, he's going through that of a training seminar with that of few other people around him, as some of them have that of cat ears just like that of Jubai, some that have that of pointy ears, that almost look like elf ears, to be honest. And some are just seem like regular people, to be honest. As they all surround him, with many of them range from that of the same age as Ragna, while some range from that of preteens, teenagers, and even people in their early 20s. Within, he prepares the blade around him. Then soon a lot of people come after him. Some with that of gauntlets, swords, staffs, spears, and many other blades as well. Then soon Ragna, trying his best to defend each and every one of them, blocks one person's strike, within countering another person's strike as well with a slash, but soon cutting through several other people as well with Void Red, as he soon runs right into the crowd of people around him, within jumping around while also slicing them at the same time, then soon stabbing another person, as then another person tries to kick him, within him basically dodging it by bending backwards, before then stabbing the blade into the ground, before then low sweeping them, as then dropping them to the ground, as then grabbing the sword, grabbing that of the red blade once again, and then soon jumping into the air, slamming his fist into that of a cat person, within them basically being knocked down to the ground with that of a bloody face. Within soon, some of them basically back off for a little bit. Within, in his eyes say it all, that he is red. His lavender eyes basically saying, "Who's next?" As everybody else soon rush after him. Within, many people grunting and out of pain and basically being sent flying everywhere. A bit of blood basically, scattering around that of the training hall. Then soon, after a couple minutes or so, everybody's on the ground, either broken, bruised, beaten, or bloody. Within soon, all there is basically a 10-year-old Ragna on the ground, also basically seen better days as well, as he's also quite bruised and beaten too, with even a few cuts and bruises around him as well. Then soon, somebody speaking up saying, all right, that's enough, everybody. Those who need some medical help, get yourself healed up and patched up properly. I don't want to see anybody basically taking any stab wounds and fatal slices. Then, after hearing that, all of them basically head to where they were told, as the person that was speaking is that of a young woman who looks like in her mid-teens, as she has that of already quite a developed body, with that of crimson red hair, and she's wearing that of a shrine maiden attire as well, with her wielding that of a long Odachi sword, then saying, "How you doing there, Ragni boy?" Saying, "Please don't call me that, big sis. It's so degrading." She's saying, Sorry, it's just too cute, Raggy boy. Come on, let's get you patched up too." As soon picking up the boy, before then holding on to his right hand, as right now it almost feels like he's blushing quite a bit, or mostly because he's being reminded of a memory. Within soon, him basically turning his head away, trying to forget the memory as well. Then getting patched up, as he has a couple of bandages and wrappings around his arms, legs, and body, even a bandage on his cheek. Then she's saying, "And done. There you go. Seriously, I don't even know what Master was thinking about giving you training sessions like that. Just because you're half devil doesn't mean you're not just like any other kid here." But then Ragna is saying, "Master believes in me. If he thinks I can handle training like this, then I can handle it." But saying, True, but I'm more worried about our other students as well. You may be able to handle your own, but some of them aren't. Some of them may be that of Nekushao, and some may be that of elves, and even that of Tengu. Even some even some Anmayoji that come here to get trained as well. You, on the other hand, you're the only outlier here, being half devil, kid. But try not to forget that you're still human as well. With and soon looking down, saying, it's hard to believe that I even am human, to be honest. With soon, she's saying, oh, don't go all depressed on me just yet, okay? It's still early for that. Now go on, have some fun, play around. I'm pretty sure Jin wants to check on you. With then saying, huh? Wait, Jin wants to play? Is he done training? With then she's saying, possibly. I'm not sure. Saying, then you don't know. Then he's not really done. Why did you say that, big sis? Why did you lie? With her couldn't help but smirk and smile, saying, it put a smile on your face, didn't it? With then the 10-year-old boy couldn't help but blush. With her soon patting his spiky head, within saying, come on now. Don't, just have some fun. Relax. You're still a kid. Nothing wrong with that. With then soon hearing that, Ragna couldn't help but actually smile. But then ever since 10 years ago, Ragna arrived at that of a dojo far out into that of Japan's countryside, in that of the Kanto region. This place can only be found by those who have that of a strong connection to magic and to the supernatural. It's mainly owned by that of Jubai as well. This dojo town is known as Ikaruga. Basically, it allows those in the supernatural to train their magic abilities, sacred gears, and unique abilities. It's mainly used for those who are basically yokai or half yokai. But since Jubai is a caring and kind old man that enjoys basically putting pain on others, he welcomes to those who are willing to learn and improve themselves in many different ways as well. Ever since, Ragna came to this town, he's been raised by Jubai and many of the other shrine maidens and also instructors as well, even taking in a bunch of kids who also lost their lives in ruin by the supernatural. Some by devils, some by fallen angels, some by priests, such as himself, even some by their own faction as well. Let's just say, things in the supernatural is almost basically a world of tragedy and pain, as he's basically find out for himself. With then soon reaching that of another training hall dojo, with then seeing a bunch of kids from that of boys and girls to that of young men and women, and even to grown-ass adults training in that of swordplay, mostly using that of katanas, as everybody's going into that of motions, strikes, sweeps, and that of pierces, showing off their skills and technique. Some have it down with that of fluency, while some not really. Well, one of them is basically moving like that of the wind itself, as it being that of a blonde-haired boy with that of green eyes. With then soon, the instructor for the class soon says, "That's enough for now. Now, everybody take a break for at least another hour or so. We'll be starting that of one-on-one duels." With then soon everybody saying "Hi." With that soon the boy noticing that of Ragna saying, "Hey, bro." With then soon Ragna couldn't help but shake his head, as the kid looks like he's at least that of 1 or 2 years younger than Ragna, saying, "Hey bro, did you finish training in sparring as well?" With him saying, "What do you think?" With him saying, "Seems like you got your ass kicked." Saying, "Ha ha, you little comedian, little shit. Come on." With him saying, "Bro, you can't be cursing. You're still too young." Saying, "Hey, if the old man and big sis Yuzu can basically curse like sailors, so can I." With then the two kids run off, while some in the distance couldn't help but think that it's adorable, while some basically look at disgust, mainly at Ragna. With then soon, as the kids were running, they soon run past that of three other kids that look at least that are the same age as the blonde-haired kid named Jin. And there's one girl having that of short bob-cut hair, but is red as crimson, with that of bright blue eyes, while the other is a girl that has that of squirrel ears and a squirrel tail, as in her hands is that of Tonfa's, with then saying, "Oh boy, looks like they're on it again." With then she's saying, I wish Jin would play with me more. He always plays with Ragna though." With then soon the squirrel girl saying, it's Tsubaki. Are you mad that Jinny isn't paying attention to you?" With then the girl known as Tsubaki saying, "What? No, Makoto, I'm not. He can spend time with the person that he sees as his big brother after all. So I'm just worried, that's all." With then Makoto saying, "Oh, right. It's because since Ragna's half human and half devil, right? Nothing wrong with that. He's always nice. And sure, Master does focus on his training a lot more than the rest of us, but even so, what's wrong with that?" With then soon Tsubaki looking back at the two boys as they began running off, with then soon heading closer and closer into that of the fields, with then it being nothing but all but rice fields everywhere, with then saying, I think we're almost there, with then soon arriving into that of a small little hut, as then it being the two's playhouse, within Ryan saying, "Beat you?" Jin saying, "Aw, no fair. You're older than me, so of course you'd be able to run faster." Saying, "Yeah, like that's gonna help. Yeah, even age isn't what it counts, Jinny. What counts is that of pure technique and breathing skills. And also being athletic as well." With then Jin couldn't help but pout like that of the 8-year-old he is. With then soon Ragna couldn't help but basically mess with his hair. With then soon they began sitting down, as then looking at a few people passing by while the sun is still in the sky. With then soon Jin saying, "It's always been like this. Always peaceful, always calm. Nothing wrong with anything like this, isn't it?" Then Ryan saying, "Yeah, it is. It's always like this. Many people come and go here from the dojo. Some live their lives while some basically go on adventures. Honestly, all I want to know is what's more out there in the world." With then Jin saying, "But bro, isn't it obvious? It's mostly that of normal humans and those of the supernatural. Especially those of the Abrahamic faith that feel like they can do whatever the hell they want." With then soon Ragna saying, "When you always bring them up, that's only the time when you do curse." With then Jin basically placing his hands over his mouth saying, "Oh, right, sorry," saying, "Nothing wrong with that." With then saying, "I'm part of that faith, to be honest. I want to know more about my species. I want to know more about the devils. Being in this dojo, all I know is basically the basics. All I know is that devils were created by Lucifer and Lilith to fight against God and the angels. Angels basically angels that give into their sin and carnal desires basically fall. However, some were still loyal to God, so they fight against devils, while some angels slaughtered their original kin because God ordered them to die." It's just within him saying, "I just want to know more about the world, or the world that they basically forged during the Great War. I want to know more about my race, about the pantheon that I'm from." With then soon Jin saying, "Haven't you been looking up the library?" Saying, "Of course I've been there. at least every time before I go to bed, I take books that some people wrote about, that of the devils, angels, fallen angels, the Satans and all that, but they're all so outdated. And since this village doesn't get any news outside of Master Jubai and a few other people as well, I just don't know what to do. And half of them don't even like to tell me anything. With then him basically pouting like the kid he is. But then Ginseng, why would you want to know? We got everything here. After all, if I gotta say, I'm happy being here. Within Ginseng, aren't you happy, bro? Within Ragna saying, of course I'm happy. This is my home. Everyone here is my family. Even though some just don't like me due to my devil heritage. So I want to know the reason why my people don't like me for my devil heritage. With then soon Ginseng, well, it's not going to change anything for me. Even if you are a devil, you're still my big bro. With Jin having that of a childish and happy smile on his face. With then Ragna saying, thanks, Ginny boy. With then soon Jin saying, bro. With that, soon both Ragna couldn't help but laugh at Jin's pouty face. But then Jin also couldn't help but laugh as well. But then the two boys began to head back to the dojo, with Jin continuing his training alongside Ragna as well, as Ragna comes back with even more cuts, bruises, and basically stab wounds as well. But then getting healed up once more, and this time he's basically stuck in the infirmary. With it basically seemed like this training session went a little bit too overboard this time. With then, as he lays down in bed, soon somebody basically says, guess who? With then soon, Ragna basically raises up too fast, hitting the person that basically surprised him in the forehead, alongside with his own forehead. With then she's saying, ow, what was that for? Saying, why the hell did you scare me like that? Jesus, Makoto. With then soon, he winces in pain hearing the word, saying the G word. With then soon, she's saying, and you hurt yourself even more. Man, you're really stupid. You know that, Ragna? Saying, oh, ha ha, very funny, squirrel girl. What do you want? With then soon jumping up and basically landing on his bed, but then saying, just wanted to check on you. After all, I heard that your sparring session went a little bit overboard. Saying, a few of the people I had spar with this time had a grudge against me, mostly due to my devil heritage, of course. Saying, figures as much. With then soon, Ragna basically explains on what happened through that of a flashback, using his sacred gear blade once more, basically striking down, facing down, punching, kicking, and flipping in the air while also slamming into people. He brings down a few. Well, then soon three others, one being that of a Nekumata, another Nekumata, while the other one is a Nekushao. With then soon Ragna preparing within the Nekushao saying, seriously, I can't believe the master has still allowed you to stay in our home for so damn long. I thought he would be kicking you out sooner or later. With then Ragna still basically waiting for them to strike. With then soon one of the Nekumata couldn't help but say, hey, calm down, Yoji. This guy isn't worth it. This kid isn't worth it. Let's just bring him down. With then soon, not the other Nekumata get up and say, what are you talking about, Kito? This guy is a bastard, a half-breed devil freak. And it's because of him that Ichi is suffering. Why would he not be angry? Why wouldn't any of us all be angry? As the two having that of looks of pure and utter hatred and disgust, looking at Ragna, saying, look, I don't know anything about you guys. We're just sparring partners. So unless you want to back it up with your blades, then stop talking and start fighting. Within soon, the Nekushao that basically had that pure, utter, adulterated rage on his face saying, "You devil freak! This is for my people, you piece of shit!" With then soon slamming the sword down to the ground, which creating that of a crack through the floorboards. With then soon, Ragna jumps into the air, does that of a mid-air somersault kick, knocking the Nekushao off his feet and sent flying backwards before having that of multiple cracks onto the dojo ground. With then the two Nekumata looking at their Nekushao friend, Ichi, within soon, saying, "So, you both want to?" Within soon, the Nekushao known as Ikebiki couldn't help but say, "You little bastard!" Within, they try so hard to actually try to kill Ragna. Within saying, "Hey, wait, stop, this isn't." Within soon, multiple cuts actually hit Ragna on his shoulders, on his arms, and on the side of his torso. Within soon saying, "Enough of this." Within soon channeling his sacred gear, as he then soon basically breaks the swords, at the same time also making that of multiple cuts through his arms and on the upper half of his chest, of their chest as well, as they all scream out in pain. Within soon, Ragna couldn't help but take that a breath as the pain is starting to kick in. Within soon, a few of his sparring partners began to feel a little bit scared of him, and some of them were actually wondering, why do we have to keep on training a brat like that? With then soon Ragna looking down, while then getting as the two Nekumata and the Nekushao getting that of, well, punishments for basically attempting to actually try to kill Ragna. With then soon they all couldn't help but get annoyed at all this fact that everybody cares so much about that half-breed freak when it's the devil's fault that many Nekushao are basically persecuted for nothing, when in fact that if only one Nekushao killed their master, and even lying about the fact that she mostly killed her master in that of self-defense, not for what they believe that she did, being drunk off her power, which is bullshit. With then soon the instructor or the master looking over Ragna's training saying, "I don't want to hear it. Can't blame one boy for the mistakes of his entire race, especially one boy who doesn't know a damn thing about anything else. He's been living here for almost the rest of his life without knowing the truth of the world. However, you three have only been here for 3 years. You should start acting your age. Ibiki, I understand how you feel for the devil's done to your kind and people, even your family. Even you two, since Nekumata, such as ourselves, our sister, are basically siblings to that of Nekushao, even though Nekushaos are half yokai and half devils. Even so, we can't allow our emotions to dictate our actions. When we are all here in this dojo, we are all student teachers, and everyone here is family. Treat your family like that ever again, and you'll be wishing that your punishments weren't so light. Now, get out of here, and get to your punishment training. Do I make myself clear, you three?" But then soon, all three of them say, "Yes, sensei." With that, soon, Ragna heard everything before heading back to the infirmary to rest up once again. With then Makoto saying, "Ooh, that's harsh. But hey, at least you get to rest for a little while," saying, "I don't need rest. I want to get stronger." With then saying, "Oh boy, you never take a break, guy, don't you? I mean, you're basically one of the strongest youths of the dojo here alongside Jin. So, I see nothing wrong with that. Just take a break, have some fun, play with me if you want." With then soon, the squirrel girl couldn't help but jump around on Ragna's bed. Within, Ragna looking annoyed, however, deep down, he actually likes that Makoto comes to check on him from time to time, unlike the others. With then soon, Makoto stopped playing around as she actually ended up sleeping on the edge of his medical bed. Within soon, the 10-year-old couldn't help but sigh, but then think, she's so... Why does she's always like this, to be honest? It's kind of adorable, to be fair. Then soon, the girl that patched up Ragna a little bit earlier on today, as her being Yuzu, saying, "Hey, big sis is here, Ragna boy." But then saying, "Thought so." Everybody was wondering where Makoto went, and figured she would be here looking after you. Then soon saying, "Could you take her back to her dorm room though?" Saying, "Sure." You, on the other hand, I'll need to look. Let me check out your bandages. Then soon looking them up, as she soon saying, I'm guessing it's that devil healing of yours, able to heal anything. But I'm guessing the healing would be a lot more quicker if you had that of a beautiful maiden by your side, though, naked as well. Within soon, Ragna can help but say, "Sis, stop! That's gross." Ugh. Then saying, "I know you're a boy, but I know boys your age started to become more and more curious about girls." Within soon saying, "Will you stop that? Seriously, it's so annoying." Then soon, Yuzu saying, "All right, I'll stop teasing you. Let you know you still got another training session today." Saying, "But I thought, don't worry, this training session's with the master, actually." Saying, "Wait, seriously? It's with the master?" Saying, "Yeah. Actually, after today, you'll be free to do whatever training you wish to do, if you can pass this training session, to be honest." Then soon, he could help but say, "Really? But again, it's going to be hard. It's with Master Jubai. So you're going to..." Saying, "Oh, it doesn't matter if it's with Master Jubai or not. I'm going to pass it. After all, if I actually develop my training session, besides just doing the regular old me fight against that of 50 students to improve myself, it's starting to annoy the hell out of me. It also gives people basically the excuse that they want to kill me for. From now on, I'll be able to train the way I want, how I want. And that's not, and no one, and I mean no one's not going to stop me." Then soon, seeing the determination on the 10-year-old's face, Yuzu, or Yuzuhime, as she's fully known as, couldn't help but smirk at Ragna, thinking, he's really come a long way, hasn't he? Then, it's now become late in the afternoon, as it being that of late night sparring and training sessions. Currently right now, Ragna is heading up higher and higher up into the dojo's higher floors, mostly on where the advanced lessons are taken, mostly for those who want to improve using magic through their fighting styles, especially having to even those who were born with that of sacred gears as well, such as himself. Then arriving into the training floor, as then seeing that nobody's there except one figure, as it being the man who took him in, who raised him and is training him as well. This being Mitsuyoshi Jubai. Then soon seeing him as he's not wearing his hood, as he's just wearing that of a traditional training gi, with that of two swords in front, with that of two swords in that of one scabbard, then his cat ears and his two tails basically show themselves. Then soon standing up, saying, "Ragna, I see you finally arrived. It's time to see how much you improved in these 5 years being here." Then soon bringing out Void Red once again, saying, "If I can beat you, old man, I can actually train the way I want, right? That's what I heard from Big Sis Yuzu, right?" Then soon Jubai smiling, saying, "Of course, that's what you take from this. But to be honest, this is also to help you fully awaken." Then saying, "What do you mean?" Ragna, You have so much potential inside you, so much strength and so much power. It's more than just your Void Red blade. To be honest, Void Red may be a common variety sacred gear, and it can be used in many different ways in combat. However, your Void Red, I've seen my fair share of Void Red users. Yours feels completely and utterly different. So I want to see how much it improves. Not only that, I wish to awaken your other aspects in your training. So I'm letting you know now, within soon, as he soon raises his hand sign, raises that of few hand signs. Before then, the doors begin to close, as then a few other kanji symbols begin to appear around the walls and on the roof and on the floor, within saying, "We will not go until you awaken your true powers. Do not worry, I will not kill you. However, this training will basically put you on the verge of death. Just be glad that you have your devil physiology, because if you didn't, this would be a lot harder." With then soon, as he soon goes down to one knee and grabs his swords, with then placing it on his back, before then sheathing both swords. With his left hand, one is in a reverse grip, while the one is in a normal grip, as he soon gets in that of a fighting style. Within, Ragna getting ready, but then soon saying, "I got this, old man. I know what those swords of yours can do. They're basically a special made swords that are not holy swords or demonic swords. They're basically special sacred swords that can cut through any form of magic and abilities." With then soon saying, "Of course, you know that. However, you really think that I've shown you everything, right, kid?" With then soon, an aura begins to erupt around that of Jubai. How is it being that of a Tuki aura? Within soon infused with that of Senjutsu, as then his aura begins to manipulate and form, as then two cat-like claws begin to emerge up behind his back, as they look sharp as hell. Within soon, Ragna saying, "Oh my god, you really are going serious on me." Saying, "Like I said, boy, I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm going to put you on something close to the verge of death." Within soon, in a blink of an eye, without even being fast enough to recognize it, Ragna was soon sent flying, using the butt end of his blades, before being grabbed by one of the claws and then slammed to the ground, as he soon basically coughs up a little bit of spit, before then soon being stabbed in that of the shoulder, as he soon screams in pain and agony. Is then a few of the teachers of the dojo, one being that of a human, another one being that of another yokai that looks like that of a Tengu, while the other one is a yokai that looks like that of a Ketsune as well. With one of them couldn't help but say, "Looks like the master started the boys' training." With then soon the Tengu sensei couldn't help but say, "Indeed, it seems so. He believes that he can truly awaken the boys' latent abilities." With then soon the Ketsune sensei can help but say, "I believe so. Master Jubai has awakened many other students' abilities and powers. It's just that he's taken quite a bit of a liking to young Ragna's abilities." Within soon, the human one couldn't help but sigh, saying, "The only reason he's taken a liking to him is because that kid is a Beal. I can tell just by looking at him. Only those of the Beal, that kid most likely has the power of destruction. Definitely has it. The master is only trying to help the kid awaken it. But of course, the only time he was able to awaken it, within the Tengu one saying, is during times of great distress and rage. We cannot allow something like that to go on." Within saying, "True, there is that. However, did you know that it feels like he has more than just one sacred gear? Or is that just me?" With then soon, both of the masters look at the Ketsune one, saying, "What? Is it just me? Or is it more than that?" With then the two look at each other before looking back up, hearing that of multiple screams and shaking around that of the main dojo on the top floors. With then soon Ragna basically all battered and bloody, bruised and beaten, and with multiple stab wounds and slashes across his body as he's bleeding all out everywhere. With then soon Jubai, who doesn't even have that of a single scratch on him, is completely and utterly unfazed about everything. With then soon saying, "Is that all you got, kid? I was expecting a lot more." With then soon channeling his demonic power through his void red. With then soon sending that of a red slash towards Jubai. Within his Tuki and Tuki infused Senjutsu claw just basically slaps the red slash away, not even breaking a sweat. Within soon seeing this, Ragna couldn't help but basically feel like he's about to pass out from the pain. With then soon Jubai couldn't help but say, "What's the matter, kid? Going to give up just now? Not going to reach your true potential? Come on, did I basically waste my time saving a little boy crying for his mommy? If this is what you got, maybe I should have just let you die, basically left you on your own to be basically fend for yourself like the little bitch you are, if that's the case." With then soon Ragna couldn't help but get annoyed, saying, "Shut up," saying, "Or what? You gonna cry? You're gonna whine? Gonna basically cry for your mommy after all these years?" But then soon Ragna saying, "I said shut up!" With then soon a burst of demonic power begins to shift. Within soon an aura of pure blackish red begins to erupt around that of Ragna. Within soon Jubai saying, "Calm down, Ragna. You now have the access to your demonic power, to your power of destruction. That is your family's clan trait. You need to control it, channel it. Don't let your anger consume you. Don't let your anger control that power of yours. You are the one who controls it. It does not control you." With then soon he tries to channel his anger. He tries to channel his power, saying, I can't. I don't know how to." With then saying, "You can. Just focus. Think about it. Your anger. Channel your anger through your power of destruction. And then channel your power of destruction around your body. Use your demonic power to do so. In doing so, you'll finally unlock your true power. You'll be able to unlock your true strength. Show me what you can do, my boy. I know you got this." With then soon Ragna unleashes a powerful, terrifying scream. With then the power of destruction basically erupts around the entire dojo as the kanji wards, basically keeping them inside and everything intact, is starting to fade due to the power of destruction slowly destroying the wards from even destroying the magic itself. With then soon seeing this, Jubai saying, "What in the world?" With then soon emerging from that of Ragna as the void red blade that was in his hands begins to shift and transform, as the piercing red soon erupts, as the bright light soon begins to die out. However, it doesn't just stop there, as then something emerges from that of Ragna as he soon screams with all of his might, as it almost looks like that of a white great sword, as the sword almost looks quite mechanical in nature, even though sacred gears such as that are basically a dime a dozen and rare, depending on how the user sees it. With then the blade soon erupts from Ragna, and on pure instinct he grabs the white greatsword in his hands. Within soon the bright light coming off the void red soon dies out as well, as the blade changes from that of just a mere blade to that of a beautiful red katana, as in both of his hands wielding that of two powerful swords. One, as the hallucinator doesn't just have that of void magic, it feels completely different. It feels like it's the void itself, the power of the void itself. Basically, the power of the dimensional gap coming off of the blade. As for the second one, being the white greatsword, as the sword itself basically radiates death, radiates so suffering and pain. As even just feeling it, you could feel like your soul is being tugged into the blade itself. As for the power of destruction, Ragna's body is now basically coated in the power of destruction as he's trying to take a deep breath. However, looking at Ragna, he's completely different now, as his brunette hair is now turned into that of a pure white. However, his black hair is still the same. One of his eyes, his right eye, has now turned into that of a crimson red. However, his left eye still has that lavender purple as well, which shows on how much Ragna has now changed from the boy that he once was a little while ago. As soon Jubai can actually feel the power radiating off this kid, saying, by my words, that kid was already on the level of high class, at least on the high level of high class. Now, I can already feel it. The kid alone is already on that of mid-ultimate class right about now, basically showing on how much he's improved and grown in just this one battle alone. And I knew it. That void red of his wasn't truly a void red, or rather, it was a subspecies of void red that was basically evolving into something more. I can tell just by feeling it. It feels like it's on the level of that of a Longinus sacred gear. And not only that white blade, I know that blade all too well. Who knew this kid also had this as well? Honestly, Lenore, your boy was already born to be a monster. And yet, I think it's a good thing. Maybe not your death, but possibly suffering caused this boy to grow up to become something even more. Hopefully, none of the devils, angels, fallen angels, and other supernatural creatures, especially those damn gods, try to hurt this kid. Because this boy is going to become a literal monster. Soon, as Jubai basically finishes his own internal monologue, Ragna soon drops both swords, and then soon is about to fall down to the dojo ground, before then being caught by the cat paws. Instead of them slamming him or basically punching him or clawing him, instead they basically hold him like that of a loving parent holding their child. But then soon, Jubai basically sheaths both his swords, and then his claws basically bring him over to him, and then placing him in his arms as well, saying, "You did well, my boy, truly well. Well, welcome to your true power." But then Ragna couldn't help but have that of a pretty mischievous but also happy smile on his face before passing out. After that day, Ragna is basically has now decided to do his own training, as he's now improved and now able to improve his own fighting style and techniques. As through his self-training, he was able to find out that his void red has evolved into that of a subspecies sacred gear, not even still similar to void red, but completely different, as it's able to basically use the power of the dimensional gap, the void itself, using the power of the dimensional gap as a power source. He's able to basically pierce through anything, even a person's soul and body as a whole, even cut through people's magic without even breaking a sweat. Just like void red, however, instead, when void red cuts through people's magic, it still connects to people, but using this new sword, as he's now dubbed that of the Hallucinator, the Crimson Void Blade. It's able to disperse and destroy magic as a whole, almost close to borderline anti-magic, if anything. As for the second sword, the sword that he also awakened, it's called that of Blood Scythe, the Dark Reaper Blade. Basically, it's one of the 14th Longinus sacred gears, as it basically combines the souls and powers of multiple Pantheon's Grim Reapers all into one. The Reapers of the, Greek Pantheon, the Shinigami of the Shinto Pantheon, the small death gods of the Hindu Pantheon, and even a small fraction of the Hindu god Anubis as well. Basically making it the Sword of Death, as some people like to call it. And the reason on why it's called Blood Scythe is because the massive blade can also turn into that of a scythe, basically channeling death magic into its own personal blade. Because of this, Ragna has now improved quite a bit, but not just improved with his 2 sacred gears, but also with his power of destruction as well. Slowly realizing the power of destruction that he used, he's able to channel it through his weapons and create that of slashes, techniques, abilities, even using that of the power of destruction to guard himself and protect himself from that of attacks as well. Basically erasing anything that basically comes near him, even channeling it through his body like that of an aura shield as well. So anybody that touches him when he channels the power of destruction through his body will be erased. Hand, foot, blade, sword, no matter, nothing. Basically nothing. But it's more of a last resort, after all, if he needs to fully protect himself. And since then, he's had enough time basically spending with both Jin, Makoto, even sometimes with Tsubaki and Yuzu as well. Let's just say his life has turned quite good, to be honest, until one night that changed everything. But then Ragna was basically finishing up his own nighttime training session as he's about to head back to his dorm room. Soon he realized that Jubei's room is still open, realizing I should probably update the old man about how much I've improved. If I don't, the old man's probably going to scold me, telling me that I should train at least a bit of my own training schedule, with then soon arriving as he heading up to Jubei's personal room, as then he began hearing Jubei saying, "The last time I told you, I said no, Sir Zetches." Within Ragna was curious, with then soon another man that he doesn't know saying, "Come on, Jubei. I've been kind, patient, and ready about this, but I can't. But he is my family. He is my cousin. You can't expect me to not want to bring him home to me." With then soon Jubei saying, "Okay then, how about I spell it out for you, Gremory, now turned Lucifer? This place is his home. These people are his family. Sure, there's some ups and downs, and some have some issues with him being a devil and all, but this place is his family, and that boy is basically the closest thing to a son I have, just like all the other kids here. And you expect me to just give him away to somebody like you people, where you're basically just going to persecute him? Like hell I will." As Ragna opens the door and sees that of Jubei, however, he's also able to see that of a man with crimson red hair, that of ceremonial spiky armor that looks quite intimidating, a blackish green robes as well. However, he's even also able to see 2 other people, as one of them being his wife, being that of Lady Nine, and also another woman that he doesn't know, as she has that of a French maid outfit with that of silver hair. With then soon, so it's just saying, "I get that. I truly do. But I want to know my cousin. I never actually got to meet him or even got to speak to him once. Heck, I never even got to truly understand and basically got to know my own aunt, his mother. Please, Jubei, please let me know about my own family. Heck, My own mother has been wanting to know about her nephew. I want to meet Ragna myself. With then soon, Ragna saying, They're my family? With then soon, Nine speaking up saying, oh yes, definitely. We can totally understand. We can understand how you feel, Sir Zetches. But try and see this on how Ragna feels. He doesn't know anything about you. If anything, you are nothing but a pure and utter stranger to him. The last thing that Ragna needs is basically be around people who we all know aren't going to do anything for him. And that's exactly what you devils don't do for your own families, after all. With then soon, Graphia getting annoyed at this, as hearing somebody basically talk down to her king, her master, her husband, like this. Even it being Nine of all people, one of the most powerful Satan magic users in all of the world, especially being human at that, especially since she's human. With then soon, Jubai couldn't help but sigh, saying, Sir Zetches, there's a reason on why your aunt, Lenore, wanted me to look after Ragna, wanted me to look after the kid after all these years. The reason being is because she knew on how the devil faction was going to treat him, how they were going to see him as nothing but a tool, nothing but a pariah, nothing but a freak. We already see ever since the reincarnation peace system was created, more and more humans, yokai, and elves, alongside other supernatural creatures, are forced to become that of reincarnated devils. We are aware that some people choose to be devils. Some people have no choice to become devils if they save their lives. But more the majority of reincarnated devils are forced into that life with no choice of their own. So to be honest, we are already aware on how reincarnated devils are treated, but we're also 100 times aware more that half-breeds such as Ragna are basically treated as nothing but pariahs and freaks to you devils. They basically see them as nothing but abominations, monsters that don't even need to exist. Half-breed, that's even those with that of dragon, half-devils that of dragon blood, and other supernatural creatures are basically seen as freaks. At least with the Gogori, when they're half-breeds, they're treated with at least a lot more respect. Sure, they may be looked down upon by those of the older generation because they never experienced what true war and suffering was like, but they can understand that. Some of them don't even want them to basically know what that suffering feels like. But even so, the devils, you all basically persecute anybody that comes near you if they don't have status, class, and basically blood ties. That's the reason on why I refuse for you to even have Ragna even meet you, because we all know on what we're going to know. We all know that Ragna would basically take any opportunity to know his family. It's bad enough his father died when he was only 3 years old. His mother died when he was only 5, seeing her die right in front of him. And you basically wanted to send him to your family, a family he knows nothing about, a family that basically lives in the limelight of devil politics. Do you really expect that your family house, the Grummery house, are going to rise up in the ranks, knowing that you have a half-breed? And let's not even bring up the fact on how the Beale family are going to take it, knowing that the failure of a Beale, the one with no power of destruction, basically created that of a half-breed child that also has the power of destruction. Do you ever think on how that's going to affect you devils, and how that's ever going to affect him? At least here, he's actually around people that truly care and love him for him. Instead, he doesn't need to be around a bunch of people who are just going to see him as nothing but a freak. So I'm going to say this again, Sir Zetches. My answer will always be no. After saying that in a stern tone, the old man Nekumata basically sits back with his arms crossed, even that of his tails as well. With then soon, Sergius just couldn't help but sigh and say, all right then, I'll accept that. I will accept your decision, but on one condition though. I want you to tell Ragna about us. Within soon, and saying, for peak's sake, Sergius, within soon. Sergius saying, I want you to tell us about him and hear what he has to say. I want you to tell him about us. Does he want to go with us or does he want to stay here? That's all I want to hear. That's it. You don't have to introduce me to him. You don't even have to show me him. All I want is to know his answer. If he wants to stay here or if he wants to come with us to know his family, his biological family at that. That's all. With then soon hearing this, Ragna on the other end couldn't help but be shocked about everything, as he's always wanted to know more about devils. He always wants to know more about his people, about his mother's people, even though he knows about them from during the Great War and Civil War and how they used to act all those centuries ago. He wants to know how they're still the same. And now he knows that they're basically forcing people to become that of reincarnated devils, forcing them to become devils by means that they don't want. Either they have no choice or they're forced to by any means necessary. Even finding out the worst thing, that people like him, half-breeds like him, are basically seen as pariahs and freaks and not even accepted in society as a whole. With even finding out that his own mother was basically rejected by her own family as well because she didn't have the power that he has now. And now he finally understands. He finally truly understands on how devils truly act. If this is how they act around people like him, or even how, because to be honest, he trusts his master's words than a bunch of people saying that they're his family. He may want to know about them, but he doesn't want to be a part of them, especially if they weren't there for him and his mother when she died. Within, after hearing that, soon Ragna basically walks off quietly before anybody noticed. But then soon, Jubai saying, all right, I'll decide it. But if he says he wants to meet you, then I'll let him meet you. If he says that he doesn't, then we are never going to have a discussion like this ever again, Sergius. Let's make that clear. But then Sergius saying, I get it. I understand, Jubai. But that's all I wish to ask. Please do so for me. And soon after that, Sergius and his wife, Grafia, soon leave in that of a teleportation circle. With then soon Knight saying, well, that's rude as hell. They couldn't even bother walking out and using a teleportation circle. Instead, they had to do it in our house's meeting room. So disrespectful. But then Jubai saying, nah, it's all right, dear. It's all right. To be honest, I was only stalling for so long. If anything, I was just waiting until the kid was basically at an age when he basically wanted to, finally meet his family, his blood family. Personally, I don't even want him to. We already know how the Beals are going to treat him. They're going to basically deny his very existence. Even with the power of destruction, they're probably going to make some stupid excuse about him basically stealing it, or that he's basically a freak that was able to absorb the power from other Beal members. And that Zekrom will always basically play politics and play power struggle for those damn devils. And of course, prestige and power is what matters to those bastards. Even then, Elena, Lenore even said that she cares about her twin sister, and yet that woman didn't do a damn thing for her own sister. Didn't even bother finding out that she even had a child. But Sergius, her nephew, the one that basically wanted to prove her wrong that the devils can change, basically cares, even though the devils haven't changed a damn bit. Those damn bats only care more about things that stay the same instead of the things that change. I expect nothing less from basically war weapons after all. With then soon Nine going down to her husband and basically giving him that of a shoulder massage while also pressing her ample chest on his back, saying, "Ah, lover, you're too kind. But are you going to tell Ragna?" Saying, "Got no choice. I have to keep my word. Either the kid, and I know the kid has been wanting to know more about his family. So, and definitely he's going to take the opportunity to meet Cerzechis. And Cerzechis is definitely going to get in the mind of the kid after all. After all, he's just a boy that wants his own family, wants his own friends, wants to know more about who he truly is. I'm just not ready to lose him just yet, after all these 5 years." Within, Nine couldn't help but smile at her husband, saying, "You're way too soft for your own good. And it's ironic that people call you the deadliest yokai in all of history." Within, soon, Jubai couldn't help but actually have his ears twitch after hearing that, saying, Easy to hear you say that's from basically the oldest witch in history as well." Then soon she pinching his cheek, saying, "Hey, you know better, Mitsuyoshi. You don't comment on a girl's age." Saying, "Right, sorry." And letting go before wrapping her arms around Jubai once again, saying, Whatever decision Ragna chooses, you're gonna have to respect it." But then Jubai saying, I know, hun." Then the next morning, Jubai basically tells Ragna that his family wants to meet him, and he wants to ask if he wants to meet them as well. But then Ragna still training, saying, "I don't want to meet them." Then soon, Jubai couldn't help but say, "You don't?" Then soon, Jin, Makoto, Tsubaki, and even Yuzu actually hearing this, as they basically wanted to check on Ragna's training as well, but then saying, I don't want to meet them." Then Jubai saying, you sure, kid? I thought for sure." Then Ragna basically letting go of his swords, before then running to Jubai, as holding on to the old yokai, as then he actually can feel the tears coming from Ragna, saying, "I heard everything. I'm sorry. I just heard everything that you said to that guy called Cerzechis. I heard how devils basically treat people like me, how they treat humans and everything else like that. I'm sorry. I wanted to know my family for so long, where I'd come from, where my mom's life was like. I'm already aware that I'm half Japanese, but I don't know my devil heritage. So why? Why do they hate people like me? Why am I always hated by everybody? What have I done to cause this? What have I done to deserve this? Do my very existences cause people pain?" Then soon, Jubai couldn't help but say, this old man in me is becoming too damn old. How the hell did I not notice that Ragna was listening to the conversation? Truly am getting old if that's the case." But then soon trying to comfort Ragna, saying, "You're not to blame, kid. Far from it. It's just the world that's to blame. It's their society to blame. It's who created them to blame. Devils are just ignorant, self-entitled creatures. If anything, you don't should hate them for what they done to your mother or anything like that. To be fair, you should pity them. Be sad for them. Sad that they don't know what it's truly like to be free, truly like to be open-minded, what it's truly like to change. You want to know what your mother told me years ago when she asked me to look after you? She told me, then soon having to have a flashback, saying, Jubai, what if I told you that half-breed devils were the future of the devil race? As basically same old Jubai that hasn't aged quite a bit, basically saying, "Where's this coming on, Lenore?" With then soon saying, I believe half-breeds are the future of the devil race. I mean, look at my beloved Ragna. I can tell once he grows up, he'll be something greater. He'll be something amazing. I don't know where or when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. And when it does, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be excited knowing that my beloved son is able to become something greater, possibly the most powerful devil that ever existed. Half-breed or not, he'll change everything. And I know it, because half-breeds like him will be the ones to change the devil race for the better. As she has that of a cheerful smile on her face, with then soon Jubai couldn't help but be shocked before smirking, saying, before then getting out of the flashback saying, she believes that you can change. So, do you want to go to meet with do you want to meet with your cousin and meet with your other family members? Within soon, Ragna wiping his tears after seeing his red puffy eyes, then saying, "No, I still don't want to meet them. At least, not yet. I want to meet them when I become more powerful. They say that they want to look down on people like me. Fine then, I'll become so powerful and so strong that they won't even get a chance to even look down on me ever again. That's why I want to get stronger. I want to travel. I want to become so strong, traveling the world, face against strong opponents, and soon reaching the ranks that not even any devil can basically look down on me whatsoever. That's what I want." With then soon hearing this, Jubai couldn't help but say, "You're one crazy ass kid. All right then. Well, besides your own self-training, I'm gonna be training you just as much to handle your own magic and demonic magic. So, are you ready?" With then soon Ragna saying, "Hell yeah, I am. Bring it on." With then soon the training begins to become more and more intense as he's perfecting his sacred gears. He's even already unlocked the balance breakers after 2 years of training, when he's only 12 years old, able to unlock the balance breaker for both the Hallucinator and Blood Scythe. And not only that, even able to develop his own demonic magic, since devil magic uses a person's imagination to basically improve themselves. Well, let's just say the imagination of a half-human, half-devil that basically improves himself daily by using that of 2 sacred gears has quite an impact on a kid like this after all. Also, he began to learn also that of branch forms of powers as well, such as that of Tuki and Senjutsu. Using Tuki around that of his power of destruction, he's basically able to enhance his own power and power destruction without even breaking a sweat. Hell, he won't even need his sacred gears when he uses Tuki and power destruction and the power of destruction together. As for Senjutsu, it's more, instead of using it as a way to, help him in battle, he uses it as more of a way to sense people's abilities and powers as well. Even able to sense other people's sacred gears, such as Jin, for example, as he also has that of a sacred gear, which he never knew after all these years. But of course, Jubai knew, and was the reason on why he was a prodigy for so long at an age like him, as his training begins to develop even more and more. Hell, he's developed so far that he doesn't even need his sacred gears all the time. He's developed a fighting style on where he can use his sacred gears as an extension of himself, not as that of using weapons, but more as that of using 2 extra arms and powers to his advantage in battle. That's just how much he's improved as well. Since then, a lot of people still don't like him. However, they're able to tolerate him and see him as now a member of the dojo and family, after all. Just that one family member that you just can't stand for no reason, after all. That's who Ragna is to the people, as it's now been that of, well, another 5 years. Currently, right now, Ragna is now 15 years old, and he's now about to go on his own journey of self-discovery to improve himself. Within soon, Jubai saying, "You've gone so far, Ragna." Within, Ragna saying, "Of course." I won't lie, I am a little bit worried, but I've made this decision, and I don't plan on backing out just yet. Within soon saying, "All right, kid. Of course you wouldn't. But even so, just let you know, the world out there is full of crazy people. Some people are not even worth your attention, while some are basically so powerful they can basically destroy you with just by looking. And I'm not just talking about the devils or any of the other faiths. I'm mostly talking about gods. Hell, even the ones that are even surpass the gods themselves." Then saying, "Yeah, you told me about them. The Ouroboros Dragon office and the Dragon of Dreams, Great Red. So I'll be prepared to watch out for them." Within Sing Jubai saying, "You better, kid. I know you say you want to be so strong that you don't want any devil basically looking down on you because of your half-breed nature. So don't go be fighting people so strong that it's basically above your league and level power. Wait, just continue improving yourself slowly, then face against those bastards. How does that sound, kid?" Saying, "I say you're being overprotective, geezer, but I'll accept." Within soon, Jubai placing a hand on Ragna's shoulder before hugging the kid, saying, "Good luck out there. And seeing on how much you've grown, your mother would be proud." Hearing this, Ragna couldn't help but smile, saying, "Thank you, father." Within soon, hearing that, Jubai couldn't help but say, damn old brats, saying things that can get an old man's hearing. Now get going. I'm pretty sure you said your goodbyes yesterday, did you?" Saying, within Ragna saying, "Yeah, I did. I said my goodbyes to Big Sis. Tell Yuzu, take care." Saying goes for Makoto, Tsubaki as well, and tell her to stop holding back on her feelings for Jin. As for Jin, well, he wasn't so happy that I told him I was going on my journey without him just yet. He's still a 13-year-old kid. Only makes sense. Then soon, Jubai saying, "Once he'll probably catch up with you. After all, he's a prodigy, to be honest." Saying, "Yeah, possibly. I'll probably see him on my journey next year, right? So, see you then, Sensei. I'll be back when I'm ready." Then soon, Ragna walking off. Then soon, Jubai screaming out, saying, Wait, Ragna, there's something that Nine wanted to give you." Then soon, Ragna saying, "Lady Nine? What did she?" But soon, showing him that's of a black trench coat. Then soon saying, she basically made this coat for you, completely infused with her own magic and abilities. Basically it even has a bit of other runes and other forms of magic all wrapped in one big package. To be honest, you should be lucky to have the 9th strongest witch of the world basically make something for you." Then soon, putting on the coat, he couldn't help but admire how much it actually fits him. Then soon saying, "Thanks, master. And tell Lady Nine thank you for the present as well." Saying, "You can tell yourself when you come back here, brat. Now get going." After saying that, he soon leaves. Then saying, "And don't come back until you become the strongest that nobody can look down on you. Not even me, you got it?" Then soon without saying, he brings out both his sacred gears, both the Hallucinator and Blood Scythe. Raises up to the air and basically have both blades cling and clash with each other in the center above him. With him saying that he knows, and he ain't going down anytime soon. As this is the true start to Ragna Beal, or as he prefers being Ragna Saito, or as the world and the supernatural world will know him as the Red Reaper. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So this is the last Prologue chapter for the series, and the next chapter will be the true beginning of this story. So yeah, Ragna's story is about to begin, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification, keep up to date my videos when I upload on the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my main channel, and my Patreon, alongside my Cash App as well. I'll link in the description below if I don't forget. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later guys, and I hope you all take care.